Let's talk anime. Hello and welcome to Brandon's Discuss Anime, a Reckless Amoeba podcast. I am your host, Brandon Horvath, and with me are my co-hosts, Brandon Thalinger.
Attention campers, it's time for Camp Laszlo.
We were just talking about that beforehand,
The the off-camera joke, yes, it's great.
and also with us, Ryan Stokely.
Uh, Something about Rocco's Modern Life.
Lazlo, Lazlo.
What's up, guys?
Hey. So, something interesting that relates to us and our podcast and people who used to be a co host. I was recently checking on Andrew's brother's YouTube channel. Apparently, he's a streamer, and
Oh,
within the past month, I want to say he set a few records in the Sega Genesis game Outrun.
Oh, cool. So he's a
okay.
speedrunner?
I'm not 100% sure because I know a few months ago he was into, I think it was Mario Golf, and like that used to be his thing. So,
Huh.
and I just noticed on his YouTube channel there's a bunch of Outrun playthroughs with like world record and former world record on, so maybe he's
Okay.
at his hand in speedrunning, so good job, Jeff.
Yeah.
His YouTube name is J Fred. If you want to look him up,
Check that out.
Jaffred.
yep. So
Was like speedrunners?
yeah, because I always
See if
find
that's what he's into.
speedrunners amazing at what they do because, like, just the sheer input of, oh yeah, I need to get this done in one frame, and they press it at the exact millisecond every time. Well, almost every time. And then they're like, oh yeah, I know how to do this, but it's just like the whole mental flow that's impressive to me.
I mean, like it's like anything else. They just practice it enough, and it becomes like that.
Yeah.
Like I'm always curious to see the little tweaks that they pull off because sometimes there's some cool and interesting ways that they do it.
hmm
Like new ways to like slip past things they shouldn't be able to slip past.
Or we were discussing a few, like 2 or 3 months ago, on our Elden Ring streams, how if you press up and down, like a frame up, frame up, frame down, and if you do that enough while I think it's while crouching, you can zip forward at incredible speeds. I think that was the trick. So they used it to cross a large gap, and I forget what it was, but I know it was at, I think it was Games Done Quick.
I have
Oh.
no idea.
Hmm.
I literally do not remember it, but I'm sure we did.
Is there always some kind of thing going on with
I
them?
know there's a big one in January and a big one in July, and there
Okay.
may be one sprinkled out other points in the year, but
Mm,
yeah, the biggest, longest ones are in January and July.
okay.
Anything going on with you guys?
Go ahead, Orion.
Oh, yeah. I uh I downloaded all of the DBZ series and movies
Ooh,
and
Oh, damn, you're gonna go on a fucking binge then, huh?
yeah, it
the
was like
the
a hundred
movies
of
are non-canon, except they tend to fall in certain points in the timeline more than others.
There's only two
yeah.
that are arguably canon, I think. I
I
mean, they're not official in any way, but there's a hard argument to be made.
What about the TV specials?
Well, that's the one I'm talking about. Was
Oh, okay.
Bardock, Father of Goku, and
Yeah.
then History of Trunks.
Okay. Yeah, I like also found a list
Oh,
to
dude.
put the
Speaking
movies in where to
speaking of
watch the movies.
speaking of Bardock, you need is on that list the little special that involves Bardock a second time.
Uh, any DBZ? Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have that.
So I'll give you a tiny spoiler here for what happens in that.
hmm
So at the point where Frieza blasts literally everything out of existence,
hmm
Bardock somehow by some miracle time travels to the past. I don't know how that works, but
Oh,
apparently it does.
I do. I have the OVA.
Yeah, because there was some stuff I think that came as like a not as a movie in and of itself, nor I think was it ever aired, at least over here. I think it was something that came as like a bonus tagged onto something else,
Okay.
either a game
Yeah.
or another movie.
I have like special features and stuff.
Huh.
So it's pretty nice. Yeah, all the movies, TV specials, even the couple PSAs.
Oh damn! They're gonna tell
Yeah,
you not to take drugs. Just
traffic
take...
safety and
Oh
fire
man!
brigade.
Oh, and here I thought they were gonna tell you to not take any sensu beans.
Yeah.
No, you want to take sensu beans because they'll refill your health.
Just don't take those senzu mushrooms.
Ah.
Yes. Well, that's what's going on with me. So, I'm gonna start. I'm making like a list in Windows Media.
What are you watching? Like, are you watching a dub or sub, or
It's dubbed.
do you know which one?
Um,
Because there's a couple different English ones.
I don't know. It says try audio, and it has like I don't know what that means.
I'm not sure either, because I was curious if it's the Funimation dub or is it like the
Oh,
old Ocean dub?
I think it's the. Hold on. It's
Because I
the
don't
old. I
think
think it's the ocean one.
I don't know how far Ocean got, or if they did end up dubbing everything.
It doesn't show the Funimation.
Mhm. Like I know Ocean got as far as the Frieza saga. I don't know if they ever continued on from
Okay.
there, or if that was relegated from then on to Canada, not
I
here.
will let you know
I was curious
once
because
I
like
finish.
there was a video I watched the other day of like all the different English dub versions of Vegeta's freakout for when he loses the Dragon Balls up on Namek,
Oh, okay.
and he starts like losing his shit about it, screaming at the
Uh,
top of his lungs.
it is Funimation.
Oh, there you go. The
It
next question
is.
would be: is it the Kai dub or not?
That I don't know. I need to
Because who knows?
educate
It
myself on
is
what that is.
they redubbed the audio for Dragon Ball, and I think they like
Oh, with like the
upscaled it.
Kai voice actors?
Well, yeah, with
Or
the current voice actors for
okay.
Kai and all the new, anyone that came in that was new. Which
Okay.
I think Gohan as a kid got a new voice acting, like voice work.
Yeah.
A-
Because the kid who like the person who originally did it couldn't do it anymore, or they couldn't
Okay.
get them. One of the two.
and the
Yeah.
manga for Dragon Ball Z, that was still called Dragon Ball, right?
I don't know.
I want to say no. I think it was called Z once we had the time skip for like Raditz and shit.
Okay, and even for the Naruto manga, did that become Naruto Shippuden in the second half?
That one was always Naruto, as far as I'm aware.
Okay.
The Shippuden was just the anime counterpart for that.
Because when like a series breaks off like that and with two parts to the story, quote unquote, with like time skips and all, will the manga change its name to reflect that or not?
I don't know.
Hmm.
I mean, right now we're also getting that final Bleach chapter, but they've named the entire anime basically after the arc. Like it's Thousand Year Blood War. They've named basically the entire new version of the anime after that. So I don't know. It varies.
Hmm. So what's been going on with you, Brandon?
Uh, I finished up my Nuzlocke in Brilliant Diamond. Uh,
Oh.
Ended up coming out on the other end of the Elite Four with everyone alive, which wasn't really a shock. So I was doing the Wonder Lock, which is the closest thing you can do to getting a randomizer officially in a Pokemon game. Because what you do is you capture Pokemon, right?
Hmm.
And then, at least in this one, and it's a little bit more annoying because you have to go to a certain place to do this. Whereas in all of the prior ones, it's been like, oh yeah, you have this thing that you can just go to in your menu and do it. But you take your Pokemon, you put it up for trade, and you could get it from literally anywhere in the world, and you could get another Pokemon for it. You have no idea who, you have no idea where, until the trade actually happens. And then the fun part was at certain marks for like getting different countries or like zones or whatever, right? Different points.
Hmm.
After you get a certain amount, you'd get like some rare candies, and you'd get more rare candies as you hit higher on those marks. I think by the end, I was sitting on like 90 something rare candies. So I
Damn.
just leveled up everyone in my party as evenly as I could.
Yeah.
And even then, even in doing that, there were points where it got kind of dicey. Because I will say this: uh, Diamond and Pearl, even before these remakes, were not like they were probably the hardest in general. They definitely toned back the difficulty on some of the trainers and gym leaders and Elite Four members moving into like other regions. I feel like Gen 4 is still the hardest one to deal with, especially in Diamond and Pearl, where your choices of Pokemon were a lot more limited.
Hmm.
And since they didn't apply anything from the Platinum version of Gen 4, it didn't exactly help too much. So we were still stuck in these remakes with like a lesser options to get things. But yeah, no, I got through that. I don't know if I'm gonna keep going through past the end game. But yeah, I beat the Elite Four. No one died in there. I've lost, I think, a total of 6 Pokemon throughout the run,
Hmm.
Not
surprisingly enough.
terrible.
Although the sucky part was I kept getting to the point of like, I just have literal duplicate types on everything. I can't make a varied team. So
Well,
yeah, there
that's
was that.
one bad part about Nuzlocke.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it makes it more difficult just because they only gave you up till Gen 4 and whatever you could have found in there back at the time. So, you're limited to that shit again. I will also like to point out one other thing. Brandon, does the name Zaum ring any bells for you?
No, I'm trying to think if we came across that Pokemon in our Nuzlocke.
It's
And,
not a Pokemon.
oh, then no.
All right, so I'm a couple weeks late on this, just because the whole Bayonetta 3 thing last week or last time kind of overshadowed it. So, but something else has come up now to bring this into light. So, if you recall it all, Brandon, Zaum was the developers of Disco Elysium.
Oh, okay. I did not connect like the production studio.
So, here's the thing. I'm gonna say it was like a month or so, maybe 2 at this point ago. 3 of the main creators were forced out of the company essentially by the money bending rich man that we saw right in
Oh,
the game. Their inversion of that in real life, the guy that invested in the game or
oh.
whatever group it was,
So the
basically forced them out.
so the light bending rich guy was actually a real
Was
person, quote unquote.
he was a bit of a reference to a real person or at least a real group of people,
Okay.
one of the two. That guy or group forced them out, and who knows what the fuck Disco Elysium 2 is going to be, because we do know that is a thing that's in development. However, not only that, Zaum is apparently like a weird collective of people and like a thought group, right? In Estonia, where the game is created and made. So, weirdly enough, the corporations there are trying to dismantle that group on top of being able to like just get their hooks into the studio as well and make money off of it.
Huh.
Interestingly enough. So here's the new update. Apparently, I guess the group is trying to sue them for something. Don't know what. Don't know if it's from like kicking them out. If I had to place my bets, it's probably to get control of Disco Elysium as an IP.
Hmm.
So I'd be very curious if that pans out and works out. And then I have no idea what happens to Disco 2 at that point.
And for all we know, Disco 2 will be the same story-driven RPG?
I don't know now that the three people that were the main, leaders of that development team, I don't know. The guy that wrote it was one of the people that was kicked out.
Oh.
So I have no idea whether or not it would be the same or even anywhere near the level of what one was.
So it could be a... I don't want to say platformer, but a more...
Oh, they'll probably model it in the style, but everything will be worse, is my assumption.
Okay, but it will still be like a make choices type of game.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be like a point and click, CRPG. I'm sure they'll try and keep that. But like everything else mechanically, writing wise, all that shit, it's probably going to suffer for it.
Damn.
So if they get the IP back, cool. Literally, people will throw money at them on Kickstarter or something to get something new out of them, because that game is great.
It was fun.
Very thought-provoking as well.
Yeah.
Now say one of these fascist or communist things or fuck off.
Or, don't you want some drugs? Don't you want some drugs? No! No, brain! I don't want drugs!
Idiot Doom Spiral, your best friend. He's got a story for you.
And a jacket.
Yes.
That he does not recognize.
Does not remember it's his own jacket now that it's been washed.
Oh, that game is so hardcore!
Yeah, right? I don't know if the new game will be anywhere near as hardcore.
Hopefully it will be hardcore to the mega.
I'm doubtful.
Oh, that is sad core.
Incremental progress, yeah!
But is it really hardcore? Wait, what?
Oh, man. You know what? I need to send you something after we're done here.
Okay. Oh, Ryan, you should really check out our playthrough on that, because we just unloaded a bunch of references.
Okay.
Yeah. But today's anime, which is a... Okay, small spoiler here. It's a short film from 2001 that I completely forgot had a sequel from 2004, but we're only talking about the first one.
Yeah, I ran into the point of like, wait, which one is it? And I'm like, oh, this one has a 2 at the end. Okay.
Yeah, like, I've heard it has a sequel, but I forgot about it. I don't think I ever saw part 2, or chapter 2.
I don't know. If it's as basic as this is, I don't know that it would be that interesting.
Okay, Ryan. Animation runner Kuromi.
I guess it falls on an animator or some kind of artist.
Go on. Yes.
Yeah.
Do go on, Orion, please.
Yes.
Where else do we go with this anime tour?
Uh, yeah, I don't know, like a slice of life type thing.
Is this anime tour
Why are you talking like that, dude?
is she perhaps running on a treadmill as she animates?
No, I don't know. I don't know, man.
I don't know why I did that voice. I just felt like it.
But yeah, I guess it follows a an animator, and maybe the animations come to life or something. Yeah, that's my guess.
Mhm.
Well, it does deal with an animation studio and the trials and tribulations about making an anime. Kind of.
I mean, with how short this is, they don't really do much detail in that.
Yeah, since this is only like 38 minutes.
Yeah, barely.
hmm
I
So,
think that's including
Huh.
like opening and closing credits, which are like
yeah.
a good 2 minutes apiece.
So, this feels like an episode of a series rather than a complete. Well, it's kind of a complete story because there's a beginning and an end. There's a tease at the end for a possible sequel, which I don't know if Chapter 2 gets into or if it's another project she's working on. But she is a 20-year-old girl named Makiko Agoro, and she
Hmm,
is starting her job at an animation studio. Her dream job. And
that's nice.
the production manager says like, "Hey, welcome to the studio." Gives
He's
her
also the only one there.
yeah, since it's only like 10 o'clock in the morning, and animators usually come in a little bit later than that.
At least at this studio, anyway. I don't know about any others.
Yeah, so he gives her a little bit of a studio tour, talks about the different departments, like, oh, a month ago, everybody quit at the in between department, so we're sending it overseas this time. And then his stomach ulcer kicks up, and he needs to go off to the hospital.
Yep, he's dead. We never see him again. I just assume he died.
Yep,
He was not allowed to do that until after his replacement showed up.
yep, he was waiting for his successor to show up before he would pass out.
And never told her any real details.
Nope, except,
Wow.
hey, here's the production schedule. Make sure you get it done. Oh no, my ulcer!
Oh god, I'm out of time. Well,
Good
he's dead.
luck!
He's dead.
Oh man.
Also, I don't know what these little squid things are that keep jumping around and saying things at some points.
Yeah, I didn't know what they were either, but they're the mascot of this anime?
But they seem like they're always different ones. Like it's not the same mascot.
They're different colored, but they're the same design.
Yeah, but I also not sure if the voices are the same either.
Hmm. And since read in Japanese, her name is Ogoro Makiko, she earns the nickname Kuromi.
Kuromi?
Yes.
What's that mean?
Um, Agoro Makiko, Goromi, Koromi.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
pun, don't you get it? Isn't it great?
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say it's a pun. I would just say it's a nickname of like shortening her name.
It's a nickname based on a pun.
What's the pun?
Just the syllable sounds like the same idea of what a pun would become.
I thought.
It's using the same ideas
I
that would
thought
make a
there was
pun.
wordplay in Japanese that I
No,
didn't.
no, 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 no.
Okay.
I'm just saying that like they're using the same fundamental idea that would make a pun.
Okay. So she's like, what do I do now? So she meets the director, Hanako, who,
Is the only good character here.
yep, and she's like, well, do your job.
You want to know why she's the best character, Brandon?
Why do you find her the best character?
Because she's sick and tired of all this shit.
Oh, yeah. She does not give a damn about anything.
The only time she gives a shit is when you offload more work onto her. That's the one time you see any kind of, like, emotion, really. Besides just, I'm tired.
And she's like, always has a cigarette dangling from her mouth.
I'm sure in the dub that was a lollipop. You think I'm kidding? That was a One Piece censor.
Yes, I did get the joke.
I'm sure if they would have brought in some rice balls, they would have been called jelly donuts.
Did they ever change it to rice balls down the line?
I don't know, but I also know they started phasing out, like, actual food and replacing it with, like, berry things. So I don't know if rice is even still a thing in Pokemon.
Huh.
It's like with all the other Pokemon. Like in the original, you actually had like real fish and birds occasionally.
Mhm.
You don't have that anymore. They're all Pokemon. They phased that shit out.
So she also meets Hizumi Misako, who is in charge of voices. So he's like the voice director?
I believe he was like the guy doing the timing on it.
Ah, okay.
I don't think he was the voice acting at all. I think he was just like spacing out the timing for the frames and stuff.
And she's in charge of Time Journeys Episode 2, which is due in a week. 5 cuts of the episode are done.
As far as I'm aware, they had like 5 weeks total, and nothing had gotten done in the 4 prior.
Yep, 5 out of the 312 are finished. And from what I understand, a cut is like a few hand-drawn frames.
Yeah, the keyframes.
Hmm.
And then those keyframes would get shipped over overseas, as we would have said, and then they would do the in-betweens.
So she needs to track down 307 in 1 week.
Damn.
Assuming they're even done. Who knows if they're done?
Yeah, because the animation.
Everyone's working from home.
Yeah,
Oh.
but this was 2001, so everybody probably had their own reasons for working from home.
See, that's the part I didn't understand. Was like, why are all these people working from home? Right? On top of that, my other biggest question was, does nobody in this entire anime have a landline phone to call to?
No?
I'm sitting here flabbergasted at that, because I'm like, this, I'm assuming is maybe a year or two, the setting wise, is a year or two prior to when this comes out. You're telling me nobody here, let alone the office, had landline phones.
Because in the one frame of animation that the producer Hanako gives Kuromi, I thought that had a 1990 something date on it.
Which, if this came out in like what, 2001?
2001?
So 1999 would be 2 years prior.
No. She said she was a fan of it in high school, and she's 20 now. So, Sane is taking place in the now of 2001.
That just makes the argument even worse for why they wouldn't have a phone.
Yeah.
Literally, them having a phone would solve a shit ton of their problems.
Yeah, because Kuromi needs to go around to people and collect their work.
Like, she can't just be like, yo, man, you got your shit? Cool, I'll be over in 5. Because apparently phones don't exist.
There's Tananaka, who is very suave. Hey, I have 10 cuts for you.
He thought she was a like fucking door-to-door salesman at first.
Yes, it's like, no, no, I'm from Studio Petite. Oh, you
Oh,
must,
you're the new girl.
you're Kuromi. No, I'm not. Like everybody knows that nickname, and but she's like, no. Why
Which is
would?
extremely weird because the only person that gave that name out was the person who had the job before her. And maybe the president or whatever, the guy that's in charge, I forget his name.
Mhm.
I forget what his position is. Maybe he overheard it because he was outside when the guy got rushed out for his stomach ulcer.
Yeah, yeah.
So as far as I'm aware, those would be the only two people that would know that nickname. So somebody there, one of the two, passed it around,
And her next stop is at
which means somebody had a phone that they could use.
the next stop is Haru, who is this incredibly large man in an apartment. Oh, here's my workload. One cut, a background, and that's
How
all
long does
he
it take
did.
him to make?
That's all he did in 5 weeks.
Oh
You
my
know,
god.
4 weeks. She's starting the fifth
Oh,
week right
okay,
now.
four. Yeah, 4 weeks, just one background.
Or,
And,
whatever else got done in those 5 cuts that were already done.
and zero for everybody else. One because she's sick and can't do work.
She's
Oh,
quote unquote sick.
yep, and the other person, oh, these characters, they're too complicated. Come back tomorrow.
This really irritates me. Like the whole situation here, just playing them off as all lazy, is what this is doing, and it irritates the fuck out of me. There's a difference between being uninspired and being lazy, and the way they're being portrayed here is being lazy. Like one is literally faking a sickness so that I can't do work.
Well, maybe the writer is basing this off of prior experiences.
How would the writer have prior experience being an animation runner?
Good point. Or maybe like
I feel like you'd be making more bucks being that runner than you would making your own manga, or in this case, like OVA.
yeah, but I don't know. I'm just saying maybe like they worked in a studio where as they were like moving their way up the ladder to like writing your own series.
Can I also point out, right? Like for 4 weeks, the prior guy didn't do any of this really easy stuff that we find out is what you need to do to make these people work.
I don't know. Or maybe
Like,
he just didn't care.
who knows? Because I mean, stomach ulcer or not, right? You take the company car, you go to the place, you indulge the artist in their bullshit, and then they get the stuff. And by indulging, I mean half of it is just, I'm gonna sit here and listen to you bitch and moan and complain about things while you work.
Yeah. That's how like the problem gets resolved.
One of them, anyway.
Hmm.
But like, yeah, no, the reasoning for the problem is kind of shit. That is like the example that they give for what the problem leads to is kind of shit,
Mhm.
and the resolution is still kind of shit. If you can't tell, I'm kind of gonna shit on this.
And I guess I have a little bit of nostalgia for this because I own the DVD for this, meaning like
Okay.
yeah, like I saw the trailer for this on I think it may have been Now and Then Here and There had a demo disc per se, like the first two episodes for like $5.99, and then it had like 50 minutes of trailer, and then I saw this on when the trailer. I'm like, oh, this looks really interesting. Maybe I'll get it, and then I picked up the DVD and I watched it a few times.
Maybe if we hadn't watched Isaacen and all that fun
Hmm.
stuff, maybe this would be better. But Isaacen kind of blows this out of the water.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
There's no contest.
And it may surprise you me saying this, but back when it came out, like, when I got the DVD, like, 15, 20-ish years ago, I thought Kuromi was adorable.
That's the whole reason you bought it.
I don't want to directly say no.
Which is, the fact that her eyes literally take up 99% of her face. Like, even for 90s slash very early 2000s anime, this is kind of ridiculously big.
Yeah, she does have really large eyes.
They're fucking massive.
Yeah, so,
I'm starting to think she's some kind of insect person.
the next day, she goes back and is being forceful to people, saying, like, hey, work harder. Oh, thank you for your cuts. And, like, counting them off, like, oh, this is all you did today?
I mean, the one guy gave her 15 cuts. She was super excited, and then as soon as she handed him off to the main director there,
Mhm.
they were shit. Like, he's fast, but all of the stuff he does is lazy, and that means she has to redo all of it.
Damn.
And like, as she's asking, yeah, how many was he supposed to do? As she's like trying to light a cigarette, I think Kuromi says like 90 cuts or something.
Yeah.
And literally the lighter turns into a flamethrower, burning her face, like at the sound of just 90. And she's like, I'm going to have to redo every single one. Every single one. That's the one scene that actually got a laugh out of me.
Like, the scene that got, oh wait, where was it? When Misako was timing, like, here's Misako timing the lines. Here's Kuromi. She is frightened by it. Because you see Misako just, like, reading the dialogue, getting way too into it. Like, no, get away! You can't do that!
Yep, he's got a stopwatch there too, which is why you can tell he's doing the timing for the stuff.
And Kuromi is just, like, awkwardly staring at him like, what, should I interact with him now?
Also, this is all before digital, obviously, so everything is hand-drawn.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's told that don't do everything she's been doing. Like, don't count the cuts in front of them. Don't tell them, hey, work harder. What was
These
the
are
other
things
thing?
you don't do.
Yeah, and it's like,
I mean, some of them are good in general as a manager. Like, don't literally scrutinize their work in front of them. That's kind of stupid
mhm.
in general for anyone.
Yeah, but
Makes them feel all worse.
she's only 20. It was her second day, so she.
This is her dream job. Shouldn't she have, like, studied up on this or looked at other people that did it?
Maybe she didn't know it would be so hard.
I'm just saying, I feel like there was a way to do some research on this before you actually got the job.
Yeah.
That, is your dream job, and you should at least have some idea of what to do. Because the only thing we're kind of given is that, oh, I know the lingo, and that's about it.
Yeah. And that night she has a nightmare about Time Journeys #2 being cancelled, all because of her. It's her fault. Blame her.
Yep, that's why she quits.
Except Hanukkah says, like, hey, I quit too. I lasted a month. I had to do 250 cuts in 1 month for only $400.
Couldn't even live off that shit.
And then we find out Kuromi is a fan of Louis Mon III, which is a parody of Lupin III.
I was about to say, cough, cough, Lupin the Third.
Yeah, like, very famous anime manga, if you've heard of it, Orion.
Yep.
Based off of,
That's like
I believe, an English book?
Was he like
British book?
Does that take place during like the 40s or something?
Depends on the series, because
Okay.
yeah, I know there is like 6. I think it's up to 6 series now, each with a different colored jacket that he wears to like keep them distinct from each other. But I believe time marches on.
Okay.
I know Miyazaki worked on Lupin at one point. Yeah, so as we was said earlier a bit, Hanako gives her a production still of Louis Mon the Third that
Found it. Sorry. Just to interject. So Lupin III is actually based upon Arsène Lupin, who was a fictional French gentleman thief, created by Maurice Leblanc. I knew he had a freaking source, and I couldn't remember where it was.
and it's like, hey, think of it as a goodbye present. And she's just looking at it. She's about to pedal away on her bike, but she returns, says, hey, you keep this. You went through your struggle, I'll try to go through mine.
Hold on with a little longer. We'll see if I die or not.
And,
If I die, bury me with it.
oh, my trouble. And then she goes off with suggestions, like for the one that says the characters are too tough to draw. She's a pessimist. Always compliment her work. The one that's sick. She's a newlywed. Listen to her complain about her husband.
He's not actually sick. Oh my god. It wasn't obvious from the start.
The fat guy. Get him out of his room and away from his toys because he will be distracted. So everybody goes into the studio, including Suave Tanaka, and he gets extremely unloaded on by Hanako, saying, now it's time to teach you the basics of animation.
Oh yeah, chewed out to shit.
And the last day, everything gets done. Everybody's celebrating, except Kuromi says, we're missing 3.
Turns out there's a guy we never even heard of before.
Yep, who is too busy surfing to do any work.
Look, man, those water Pokemon aren't going to catch themselves.
The ocean is calling to me. Oh, you're just hearing things.
Yep, then this is literally the last day to get it done. So, fuck it. You got to get it done. Do it. We don't know if we'll make it in time. Do it. Get your shit together.
And she goes back to the animation studio, and I also thought this was a funny joke. She slams into the door, knocking it off its hinges, and one of the squid mascots says, that door opens outward.
See, I don't know if it's funny or not, because I don't know if any of them know that those squid people exist.
Okay, but I got a chuckle out of that joke.
I feel like the delivery could have been better, because I could not find it funny.
Yeah, but I didn't find this, like, funny. I found this chuckling, not like, really laughing hard at it.
Yeah, but it still got some kind of response out of you.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough for me.
And again, maybe it's just the nostalgia I have for this.
Could be.
But then Hanukkah says, hey, you know what? I'm going to do these in-betweens myself, since it's really too late to do anything, because the 309 were already shipped off, and it's too late to turn these 3 in, so I'm going to do the in-between myself.
Should also point out that the guy that we got these from, I guess his specialty was like
Motorcycle chase scenes.
Or at least mechanics like that, like mechanical stuff like that.
Or maybe chase scenes in general.
Yeah, it could also be vehicular stuff.
Yeah.
Like so, yeah, that's why he apparently got it, because it's his specialty. Then we find out that Honoka, that was her name, right?
Hanako.
Hanako and that guy had worked together before on the Lupin series. Or the Louis series, I guess.
Yeah. And apparently, she's not an anime nerd like Hanako assumed she was. I was just a fan of Louis Mon III, and I just wanted to make something as cool as that. So that's why she became a part of the anime industry.
I mean, it's charming, but at the same time, very airheaded to do.
I guess, kind of.
Like, you're obsessed with this one thing. You want to make something like it, but clearly you're not someone that's doing any of the like actual work on the project itself, aside from just I'm the person, I guess, helping the actual artists? Question mark?
Yeah, so all the in betweens get done, and they go to see it in the. What was it? Like the.
Like the screening theater or
Yeah, like the
something?
screen print of it, and everything looks smooth. Everything is done. The motorcycle chasing looks amazing, and her name is in the credits, which brings a smile to her face.
So I'm curious, right?
Yes.
We got an idea of what Hanako had to go through, right? What what did Kuromi make on this first week on the job? Was it worth it compared to like the $400 that Hanako made doing her bullshit?
Yeah, I don't know.
And we never will.
Nope. And at the end, the president of the company says, "Oh, by the way, here you go. Here's the production schedule for number 6. This one's going to be a real challenge."
So
And
my
credits.
question now becomes, what happened to the other episodes that they didn't do? Where's 3, 4, and 5?
I don't know how animation studios work, but
I
maybe.
mean, maybe back at the time, I don't know, but like generally, it seems to be just a single studio that does the anime. There's some outsourcing for, the in-betweens and stuff.
Wasn't Avatar 2 studios?
But was that the in-betweens and then like the main stuff?
Oh, good point, good point.
Like, is that what we're looking at here?
Yeah. Yeah, but maybe this was split between 2 studios, for all we know.
If it was, like, you would think it would be, all right, here's all the keyframe stuff, and then there's the one with an in-between. But again, like I said, we're talking about like early to 2000s to, late 90s kind of style of doing things, and who knows what that was.
hmm Ryan, any questions about this?
Um, no, it just follows like.
It's very basic, yes.
So it was kind of slice of lifey, so you kind of called that. I'd be willing to look at the sequel since I don't think I ever did.
Maybe it's more interesting than this one. I don't know.
From what I understand, she is in charge of 3 projects simultaneously, and she has a, I don't want to say assistant. What's the description say? Oh, a veteran producer is helping her, except he is more, except he says like, hey, I don't care about the quality, just quantity over quality. And Kuromi's like, no, everything needs to be good. So I think there may be some butting heads there.
I'm wondering how long she's been in charge on this sequel at this point.
It doesn't say. It just says like, um, she's still working as production desk manager, and thanks to the excellent job she did, she's now in charge of 3 series. So possibly a year. I'm guessing it's probably after production on Time Journey's wrapped.
I mean, unless there's a season 2 they're doing.
Maybe.
Or I guess 3, because this isn't this like Time Journeys too?
Episode 2.
Okay, so yeah, maybe a sequel series.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I think this is one of the ones that we've been split on. We either both like it or both hate it.
I'm not a fan. I'll be straight. I don't like. Maybe it was good at the time. I don't think it aged well.
I'm gonna have to check. I'll watch a couple episodes and see.
It
It's
was,
only 40 minutes, man. It's only one 40-minute episode.
and
Okay.
there is a, I want to say sequel of about the same length, which I didn't see or ever remember seeing. Like I said, maybe I just have nostalgia for this, and that's why I like it. And since you coming in on it like 20 years after it's released, you don't.
It could be. I don't know. I just don't feel like a lot of the comedic timing isn't super there. Like the anime again, it's the animation isn't the best, but it's also 90s animation that's done by hand, so I can't be like that, and it's a slice of life, so I can't be like, where's the action?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I don't think the writing's super strong, and the setup for a lot of the problem is literally bypassed by having a landline phone, something that would have been common at this time.
And did you listen to the dub or the sub?
I did the sub.
Okay.
I have no complaints about the voice acting. The voice acting's fine.
Mm-hmm. I listened to the dub since I'm a little bit more familiar with that, and maybe down the line I'll listen to the sub, but Lisa Ortiz voices Kuromi, who was big at the time. And she voiced Lena from Slayers. If you've ever seen Slayers, Brandon.
I've heard of it. I've never seen it
Uh,
myself. I will say I would be curious to see what the script differences are between the dub versus the sub, because I'm sure that this is like that prime time where they were changing up, scripts to be more Americanized.
mm,
Although with this one, I don't know how much you'd be like able to like jazz it up and make it more,
Western.
make it better for westerns. Yeah, for Western audiences. It's kind of just what it is.
Yeah, yeah. So, crap. I don't have my next time list.
Crap baskets. You had one job.
I don't know how to describe next time.
Let me take a look. I don't know. There's a lot of soap and water, I guess. I have no idea.
And soap, water, and gravity.
And maybe some really dark things. Who knows?
Maybe. Soap, water.
Oily bubbles.
Yes. Lots and lots of bubbles. Alright. Until next time.
Goodbye.
See you guys.